If love is supposed to heal, why does it feel like I'm bleeding to death? That was the question Ember asked herself the night she left Silas for good, or so she thought. Ember Hayes had always believed in fairy tales. As a child, they helped her escape the chaos of a broken home and a mother who treated her more like a burden than a daughter. But life had a cruel way of shattering dreams. At 24, she found herself living in a quiet corner of Chicago, working at a bookstore, and clinging to a fragile kind of peace. Then Silas Kane walked in. Silas wasn't like the men she'd known. He was older, 32, with a calm intensity that both soothed and unnerved her. He had scars on his hands, his chest, and deep in his eyes. The kind of man who didn't speak often, but when he did, it was with purpose. He came in every week for obscure psychology books and barely made eye contact. But the third time he visited, he left her a note inside the cover of a book. I think you see the world like I do, through pain. Call me, if you want. It started slowly. Coffee. Long walks. Quiet talks in the park. Ember had always kept her walls up, but Silas saw through them, peeling her open with care. And she'd naively, hopefully, believed she was healing him too. But obsession doesn't roar. It whispers. It promises protection disguised as possession. Love cloaked in control. In the beginning, it felt like a dream. He remembered the little things, how she liked her tea, her fear of thunderstorms, the way she held her breath during arguments. But soon, that attention turned sharp. He didn't like when she wore makeup. Didn't want her texting male coworkers. Started showing up outside her work just to check in. And then the fights began. I'm doing this because I love you, he'd say after every outburst, every cold silence, every time he grabbed her wrist a little too hard. You're mine, Ember. I can't lose you. I won't. She tried to convince herself it wasn't abuse, it was passion. That he just needed time. That broken people love differently. But the worst lie was the one she told herself every day, I can fix him. The breaking point. One night, she came home late from her friend Lila's place. Silas was already there. Waiting. In the dark. He didn't yell. He just stood, silent, eyes wild, fists clenched. I told you, he whispered, I told you never to lie to me. What followed wasn't a beating, but it was violence. Emotional, psychological. He smashed her phone. Tore photos off the walls. Grabbed her by the jaw and forced her to look at him. You belong to me. Say it. She didn't. She couldn't. That night, she left. With nothing but her backpack and $48 in her wallet, she ran. The recovery. Ember stayed with Lila for 3 months. She cried through most of them. She wrote letters she never sent. She started therapy. Her hand shook every time her phone buzzed, even though she'd changed her number. She was scared of men. Scared of mirrors. Scared of herself, of how close she'd come to losing her identity in someone else's madness. Silas didn't stop trying to reach her. Emails. Letters. Gifts sent to the bookstore. The last message was chilling. You can run, but you'll always be mine. We're bound, Ember. Forever. Turning point. Instead of hiding, Ember fought. She filed a restraining order. Spoke to a lawyer. Changed jobs. Found her voice. She joined a support group for survivors of emotional abuse and for the first time, said the words out loud. He didn't love me. He owned me. 1 year later. Ember published a blog post called Scarred by Love, Bound by Obsession. It went viral. She started speaking out, helping other women recognize the red flags she'd ignored. She wasn't just surviving, she was living. She met someone new, Alec. Gentle, honest, patient. She took things slow. Very slow. And Alec respected that. When she flinched at a raised voice, he softened. When she cried after a nightmare, he held her. But he never tried to fix her. Because she didn't need fixing anymore. She needed love. Real love. Final message. Love should never hurt. It should never control, isolate, or silence. You can walk away from obsession. You can survive abuse. And you can heal. Ember did. And maybe, so can you.